Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial of Bagisto eCommerce Marketplace GDPR plugin. Now this particular plugin makes your multi-vendor marketplace compliant with the general data protection regulation for the data protection of your users there. The plugin follows all latest European Union regulations and guidelines for user data protection. So all in all, this particular plugin allows the sellers and the customers of the marketplace to request for data update or delete. The sellers and the customers can view their data related to their account that includes the address, product, orders and transactions. It also enables the seller data consent on the seller registration page, and the same goes for the customers as well. On the registration page, the data consent is enabled on the seller or the customer registration page. The admin can change the design of the cookie notice by simply creating a simple new static block and setting up the identifier there. Apart from that, the admin can solve the data request and can change the status of the request as required there. So before I proceed further with this particular video tutorial there, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates from our end. And if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. So in today's video tutorial, we'll be checking the cookie policy pop-up at the storefront and how the customers would be able to set up the cookie consent preferences. Apart from that, we'll see the seller or the customer data consent on the registration page. We'll also see the customer and seller how they can request for the update delete of the data there and how they can download their data as well. Apart from that, we'll also see the configuration settings. So the very first thing that we want to show you is the cookie policy pop-up at the storefront. So you can see that I'm at the storefront right now on the home page, and here you can see that we have this cookie policy pop-up where we have the privacy policy link. If I tap here on this privacy policy link, the privacy policy page link would be, or the page would be opened up where the customers can check the privacy policy itself that has been set by the admin there. Apart from that, we have learn more and customize, accept and reject. So we can accept the basic cookies as well, or we can tap here on learn more and customize as well. And tapping on learn more and customize, we'll see the cookie consent preferences. So here we have the basic one that's strictly necessary, that is auto enabled. Apart from that, you can enable the basic interactions and functionalities, experience enhancement, measurement, targeting and advertising as well. Now the content for these can be set up from the admin backend panel in the configuration settings as well. So I'll show you that in a while from now when we are checking out the admin backend panel. So to save and continue, we'll tap here on the save and continue, and the particular cookie would be accepted and would be saved as per the requirement there. So this was the cookie policy pop-up at the storefront and the cookie consent preferences that can be enabled by the customer as per the requirement there. Now let me show you one more thing here. So for that, what I'll do is I'll show you how the seller or the customer data consent on the registration page is visible on the registration pages itself. So I'll just go to the sign up page. Here we are having the user registration, become user, and here you can see that the data consent on registration page link and the terms and conditions are visible to the customers, and the customers can check the data consent what we say as the terms and conditions as per the requirement there. Now this is applicable for the customers if they have chosen it as no, and for the sellers as well if they choose it as yes, and they have to agree to the terms and conditions. Now kindly note that this particular link can be customized as per the requirement from the plugins configuration settings in the admin backend panel. So you can set up the link label as per your own requirement there, and you can set up the terms and conditions as per your requirement there from the backend panel in the plugins configuration settings. Now let me log into the customer account there. So for that, I'll just go to the login page, and here I'll be entering the details of the customer account. So let me enter customer at example.com, and let me enter the password for the same, and let's tap on the enter button thereafter. Alright, so let me go ahead, and here you can see that we have logged into the customer account panel, And here on the side panel under the my account option here, or the my account block here, you can see that we have the data request section. So if I go to the data request section, so under this particular section the customer would be able to request the data in the PDF format or in the HTML format. As you can see, can leave the complete request list that he has requested for the updation or for the deletion of the account there. So we have three different tabs here. One is the request data access, wherein you can request the data access. For example, if you want to get the data of your customer account, you can get it in the PDF format or in the HTML format. If I tap here on the get HTML, then I'll be able to see the default store view where my account was created, the account information, the address information, and the order information as well, as you can see here with the complete details there, right? If I want, I can get it in the PDF format as well by tapping here on the get PDF, and the PDF would be downloaded. The customer can open the PDF and can view the details within the same. So let me open the PDF here. So here we are having the same details in the PDF as well, the account information, the address information, and the order information as well. All right, now let me close this out. So this was the request of the data access by the customer. Then we have the request data update. So here you can request the data update within your account. For example, if you want to request an update for changing your surname from Doe to Don, for example, we have an example here for the particular request. Please update my surname from Doe to Don. Or let me show you how we can send the data update request to the admin. Kindly update my address to 32 Street Lane, California, USA 90001. All right, and let's submit the request by tapping here on the submit request button that we have, and this would submit the particular data request, and the request would be saved, and you can see the request sent successfully, but verification email is unsent right now. So here you can see that the particular request is visible here for the update. Kindly update my address to 32 Street Lane, California 9001. Creation date is there, the updation date is also mentioned there. So this is how we can request the data update. And then we have the request to delete the account. So for example, if you want to delete your account, you can enter the reason why you want to delete your account, and then you can submit the request there to the admin. So from here you can request to delete your account as well. If you want that your account should be deleted, then you can send that particular request to the admin of the store, and the admin can then accordingly respond to that request by deleting your account if he finds the particular reason appropriate for deleting the account there as per the submitted request by the customer from this particular section itself. Now let's hop onto the admin backend panel of the Bagisto there, and let's log into the Bagisto backend panel by entering the email address, password, and tapping on the sign in button thereafter. Now all of the requests that the customers have submitted would be visible under customers, and under customers we'll go to the GDPR data request. So here you can find both of the requests that the customer had requested here. One for please update my surname from Doe to Don, and kindly update my address to 32 Street Lane, California, USA. Both are visible here, as you can see. Please update my surname from Doe to Don. Kindly update my address to 32 Street Lane, 9001. Now from here the admin can view or delete the particular request. To view the particular request or to edit the data request, he can tap on the edit button here or the delete button as per to delete the data request there. To edit the data request, we can tap here on the edit data request, and from here the admin can see the requested type, that is update, and the message please update my surname from Doe to Don. And from here the admin can set the request status as from pending to processing, declined or complete, we can set it to processing as well. That means that the admin is processing the request, and then the admin can change the surname of the particular customer from the particular section in the admin backend panel. And then after that, from processing, you can set it to complete as well. So for now, let's set it to complete, and let's tap here on the save button. After the data request has been or the request status for the data request has been updated, you can see that the email has not been sent to the customer. The emails are also sent out to the customers as well after the updation of the data request there. And now if I refresh this particular section on the customer's end there, you can see that the request status is completed for the update request that the customer has requested from the admin, that was please update my surname from Do to Don, and so on and so forth. The admin can view the particular request and can update and them as per the required status there, from pending, processing, declined or complete as per the requirement there. He can also decline the request by selecting the decline option if he finds that the particular request message does not suffice the requirement there itself. Now this was the customer's end. Now let's hop on to the seller's end. So for that, let me log out of the customer account panel here, and let me log into the seller account panel by entering the details. So I'll enter seller@example.com, and I'll enter the password for the same, and I'll tap here on the sign in button thereafter. Now after I've signed in, you can see here we have the marketplace block, complete block with the account panel options. So from here we can see the data request option is visible to the seller as well. So the sellers can also request for the data update or delete as per the requirement. So the sellers also have the three tabs here. One is the request data access, where they can access the data of their account in the PDF file format or in the HTML file format. So if I tap here on the get HTML, we will be able to see the complete details like the account information, address information, product information, order information, transaction information details of the sellers there. Right now there are none transactions and there are none products within the seller account, so that's why this particular section is empty. Otherwise this would be having the details of each of them there itself. Similarly, we can get the data in the PDF format as well. Apart from that, if there are any requests that have been submitted by the seller under the request data update or the request to delete account, and those would be visible here with their particular status. So here you can see that we have one update request, two update requests, one has been declined and then one has been completed. And here you can see the message that has been sent by the seller as well. So for example, if the seller wants to update any of the details there within his account, he can request the data update to the admin, and he can set up the particular update description for that particular update as per the requirement there itself by entering the details of the same and tapping on the submit request. The rest of the procedure would be same at the admin's end. So I'll show you how the admin would be able to see the requested data update or request to delete account section requests that have been generated by the sellers there in the admin backend panel. So if you have generated a request data update or a request delete account request there, those requests would be listed here with their request status, and the admin can go to the marketplace account block in the side panel option here, and here he will be able to go to the seller GDPR data request, and here we can see the complete list of request status, request type, messages, creation date, updation date, and the options to edit the data request and to delete the data request there. And here you can see that we have one request for the delete as well of the account there. One is for update and the other one is for the update as well. One is declined and two are completed there. So we can view any of the requests by tapping here on the edit button, and we can see the details of the same. This is just a test request. For example, the requested type was update, and the request styles can be set up as per the requirement there, from pending to processing, or from pending to declined, or from processing to declined, or you can go with the from pending to processing and then complete as per the requirement if you find the particular message is sufficing the requirement there itself. So yes, that was much about the Bagisto e-commerce marketplace GDPR plugin, and I hope that this particular video helped you out in understanding how this particular plugin makes your multimedia marketplace compliant with the GDPR for the data protection of users. The plugin basically follows all the latest European Union regulations and guidelines for the user data protection there. And in this video, we showed you the cookie policy pop-up at the storefront and how the customers can enable the cookie consent preferences as well, how the sellers or the customers can set up the data consent on the registration page, how the customers and the sellers can request for the update, delete and download of their data. And now let me take you to the admin backend panel and let me show you the rest of the workflow in the configuration settings. So for that, what we need to do is we need to navigate to settings option, and under settings we'll go to GDPR. Under GDPR, here we have the general settings, customer agreement, cookie messages, your cookie consent preferences. Under the general settings, you'll be able to enable the general data protection regulation for your store there. Then we have the customer agreement. So here you can enable the customer data agreement. You can enable it up. You can set up the link or the link label that would be visible to the customers on or the register or to the sellers on the registration page there. So this was the same. I agree with the terms and conditions. Then you can set up the agreement content. This is the content of the agreement that we had set up. If I show you it once again, let me log out of the seller account here. Let's go to the sign up page. Let's tap here on the sign up. So here you can see that I agree with the terms and conditions, and here's the terms and policies for the same. So these are the terms and policies under the agreement conditions, and this is the agreement label, agreement checkbox label that we can set up as per the requirement there. So this was the customer agreement section. Then we have the cookie message settings. Here we can enable the cookie notice at the storefront. We can choose to display the cookie block display position as bottom right or bottom left, and we can choose the cookie static block identifier there. Then we have your cookie consent preferences. If you remember, when we tapped on the learn more and configure on the cookie policy pop-up initially in the particular video there, we saw that we had the strict necessary as already enabled. Then we had the basic interactions and functionalities, experience enhancement, measurements, targeting and advertising. So you can set up the content for the same, and these can then be enabled by the customers and can be selected and can be saved as per the requirement there by the customers within the cookie policy pop-up itself. So yes, that was much about the GDPR plugin for the Bagisto e-commerce marketplace, and I hope that this particular video helped you out in understanding the same. If you still have any questions, queries, sessions or requirements regarding the same, then you can anytime get back to us at support@bagisto.com, or you can raise a ticket at bagisto.uvides.com as well. Apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video and have a great day ahead.